I can 100% prove there is an active conspiracy against male applicants, and I can show you looking at the data from three universities: Queen's, University of Toronto, and Mcgill. So let's start with the most extreme stat. The incoming class of 2029, the class that's starting later this year, is 25% male and 72% female. That's a crazy stat right there. Only one of four accepted students were men. Last year, the class of 2028, the students who are going to be second years this year, it was 37 male to 58% female, which is still a very big ratio, but going from 37% to 25% in 1 year. Now, we go to Mcgill. Class of 2025, 64% female, 36% male. 2024, 67 female, 33 male. 2023, 65 female, 35 male. 2022, 63 female, 37 male. 2021, now this is where it starts, 53 female, 46 male. It's much closer to being equal. 2020, 57 female, 42 male. And then 2019, 57 female, 42 male. Now, the 57-42, that feels to me like what the applicant split probably is. Then in 2021, you have a much more equal 53 to 46. Then, all of a sudden, 2022, it jumps to 63 to 37. Now, that year, 2022, keep that in mind. Let's go to the admission stats for the University of Toronto. Now, what you're looking at, it's a bit confusing. The top number is the percentage of applications, male, female, unreported. So 40% of those, so in 2025, at the University of Toronto Medical School, 40% of the people who applied were male, 56% of those who applied were female, 37% of those who accepted were male, and 58% of accepted were female. So men were clearly discriminated against in the admissions process. If 40% of applicants are male, but 30% of those accepted are male. Okay, so see how that works? Even more extreme, 2024. 40% of those who applied were male, but only 34% of those who got in were male. But I want to show you something. Let's go to 2019, 2020, 2021. Remember those years for Mcgill, the earlier years, 2021, 2020, 2019, it was much more equal. And then 2021, it was the most equal of all. Well, something interesting happens with Toronto. 2019, 40% of those who applied were male, 38% of those accepted were male. Okay, that's not exactly even, but that's much closer. 2020, 37 to 35. Okay, pretty equal. 2021, 36% of those who applied were male, and 35% of those who were accepted were male. So almost equal. Just like with Mcgill, 2021 was the year that was almost equal, or much more equal. At Toronto, 2021 was almost equal. 36, 35, 53, 55. But then look what happens at Toronto, 2022. 32% of those who applied were male, 27% of those admitted were male. 56 of those who applied were female, 65% of those admitted were female. That cannot possibly be an accident. It's exactly the same trends at two completely different universities. And now we're at 72-25. How much worse does this have to get? Oh, and one more thing. Remember from Mcgill 2020, 2019, it was at 57 to 42%, 58 to 42%, and I said that probably aligns with the normal applicant pool. Well, in 2004, in Canada, women were 58% of medical school students. In 2009 and 2010, in Canada, 58% of students in Canadian medical schools were women. Now we're at 72, 65. That is not happening naturally.